What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Two Metalheads. I am James,
Mario?
and we are Two Metalheads.
Yes.
Um, so just yesterday, the list of the nominees for the 2025 class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame came out, and I'm pretty fucking stoked on it because there's actually a lot of rock and roll on it this time. A lot more than has been in recent years. We got Bad Company, the Black Crows, Mariah Carey, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Giggity, Billy Idol, Joy Division and the New Order, Cyndi Lauper, Mana, which I'm not exactly familiar with them, but I did look them up, and they're a Mexican pop rock band who apparently are like huge in Mexico, like giant.
Okay.
Oasis, Outcast, Fish, Soundgarden, and the White Stripes.
So, um, just to clear things up a bit, what is the criteria to get in?
I don't think there's any criteria to get in anymore. I think it's just about who the committee votes for.
Oh,
If
you
the
don't have to
committee
be
votes for
around for a
them,
certain amount of years or any of that anymore?
that kind of, yeah, that I think it's gotta be. I think it's got to be 20 to 25 years after your debut album comes out.
Okay.
But as far as like who they nominate, I mean, that's they
Right.
nominate fucking whoever they want. It doesn't have to be just rock and roll.
Yeah. Which,
Obviously, because they
which
put
is,
Mariah Carey and Outkast on the list this year.
this doesn't make sense to me, but okay.
And I'm assuming Mariah Carey's gonna get in. They just put Mary J. Blige in last year, so I'm assuming she's gonna get in. Outkast probably gets in too. Um, and listen, I like Mariah Carey's voice. I think she's a great singer, but I don't think she has anything to do with rock and roll.
No.
Outkast have an album that I really like. I like that mid to end of the 90s hip hop stuff, but they have nothing to do with rock and roll.
Yeah.
But I could see them both getting in. I know in years past, Eddie Trunk, who I really don't like Eddie Trunk very much. I think he's a fucking blowhard that likes to brag about who he knows. But he does a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame voting show once a year because he's on the committee to vote for people.
Hmm.
So he usually fills out his list and picks out five. I don't know if I would assume there's gonna be more than five off this list that go in, but he usually picks out five that he's going to vote for. Because now they do different things. They give different categories now. Like Judas Priest got in, but they got in on like a musical excellence category. It wasn't like they weren't in with the initial class because they didn't get enough votes. So they were like, let's put Priest in anyway, and we'll put him in this category. Same thing with Randy Rhoads. When Randy Rhoads got in a few years ago, it was like a musical excellence thing that they put him in, is he wasn't part of the class.
It's stupid.
It is really fucking dumb. It's really, one thing I do like is that Tom Morello is on the board of the committee board or whatever the fuck. And he's the guy that stamps his feet and jumps up and down and waves the flag for actual hard rock and heavy metal in that place. So I'm assuming, and I'm probably right, that the reason that Soundgarden is on this list, again, this is their third time getting nominated, is because of Tom Morello. The reason why Maiden have been on the list in the past is because of Tom Morello. Tom Morello was the guy that got Kiss to get voted in,
Yeah, and how the fuck do you not have Kiss voted in?
right?
Or Judas Priest? They've been around since the '70s, also.
That's right.
I mean,
Yeah,
you put
and Iron
Mariah
Maiden's been
Carey
around
in,
since fucking 1980, and they got snubbed.
you can put Mariah Carey in, but Judas Priest was a problem. Like, come on.
Yeah, yeah. So out of this list, if I'm picking five, I'm going with Soundgarden. For me, Soundgarden, they're innovators. Okay, so bands like the Black Crows and Oasis and Fish, and even the White Stripes. I would like to see all four of those bands get in at some point. But for me, all four of those bands, even I like the Black Crows a lot. They're a throwback band. They're like, they were out in the 90s and they sounded like a 60s band.
Yeah.
Whereas Soundgarden were innovators. Soundgarden made grunge before Nirvana was a thing. So I prefer to see an innovator get in before kind of a throwback band. Um, I want Chubby Checker to go in because how is he not in?
Well, I mean, like, he's known for one song.
He's got one massive hit, but
Do you
he
know any
was
other
like a,
ones?
what's that?
Do you know any other ones?
Well, he's got the twist,
Exactly.
and then he's got fucking Let's Twist Again.
Okay, yeah.
He's got like multiple variants of the twist.
There you go. That's why.
But that being said, he was a touring institution and he was a building block of rock and roll.
I mean, he's not somebody that I would say he's not rock and roll. Like Mariah Carey and Outkast, they're not rock and roll. At least Chubby Checker fits the, you know,
That's
rock
rock and
and
roll.
roll Hall of Fame. Yeah.
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 And he's a legend. Joe Cocker's got to go in.
So wasn't Joe Cocker in Bad Company?
No, he was not.
I always thought he was a singer for a while.
No, sir.
Okay.
He's always had his solo thing. Mad Dog and Englishmen was a big album from him. Self-titled album with where he covered the Beatles, Get By with a Little Help from My Friends.
With the
We all
Wonder
know
Years
that as
song?
the fucking theme song for
Wonder Years.
Wonder Years.
Yeah.
But the guy had a long legendary fucking career, and the fact that he's not in, like, wait a minute, he's not in there? So Soundgarden, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Bad Company's got to go in.
Yeah. I mean, they've been
They
around for a
have
while.
to. They fucking have to.
I
And at
agree.
this point, a couple of those guys are in really bad health too because they're up there in age. I would like to see Paul Rogers.
Is Chubby Checker still alive?
I believe he is.
Wow. Okay.
I believe he is. I didn't look him up before this. I probably should have, but I believe Chubby Checker's still alive. I would like to see Paul Rogers get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before he passes away.
Hmm.
And my fifth one, I'm going to say Billy Idol.
Yeah. Moni Moni, remember that?
Moni Moni, Rebel Yell,
White Wedding.
fucking White Wedding. And why I would take Billy Idol over any of the other rock ones is because selfishly, I feel like putting in Billy Idol opens the door for some glam bands that deserve to go in because
And
he
and
kind of straddled that line with glam.
and punk.
Right. Yeah. And punk too. He kind of straddled that line. So if you get him in there, now you can start arguing and going, what about Motley Crue?
Yeah, why wouldn't they be in there? They're rock and roll.
What about Poison?
Yeah.
You know, two bands that have sold squillions of records and squillions of tickets. Still do. Poison goes on tour with bands from their fucking class of bands and wipes the floor with them. If you read the comments, everybody's like, "Yo, Poison is the best glam band that's still going from the 80s."
You know, my doctor, well, this is
Dr. Vinny Boombots.
what he told me. So before Billy Idol was in the band, my doctor was the drummer for that band.
Oh, for Generation X?
I guess whatever it was. And
That's awesome.
so he went to college, to be a doctor, and they got somebody to fill in for when he couldn't do the gigs. And he said they call him up and they say, "Hey, we got this new singer. We're playing some gigs. You want to come do them?" He's like, "No, I can't. I'm at school." And they got signed.
Wow.
And it was Billy Idol. That was the singer.
Son of a bitch.
So he knows Steve Stevens and everything still.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, my doctor's cool. He offers me like White Snake tickets and all these other random tickets that he gets. Like,
Oh, shit.
yeah, he gets all these free tickets for like Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun and all this other stuff. And
Oh,
so
that's cool.
anything that I might want to go to, he's not really into metal. So when something comes along, he's like, I don't know, you want to go? I'll give you the tickets.
Shit.
So yeah.
So if you're picking five from the list,
So
who's the five?
a lot of them are the same as yours, and I gotta be honest, I don't give a shit about any of these bands.
Fair enough.
But I could admit that some of them do deserve to be in there.
Of course.
Billy Idol was definitely one that Soundgarden, Bad Company, Joe Cocker, and I was gonna say probably the Black Crows.
Okay. I can't argue with that.
I I mean like the thing is I don't Soundgarden is probably one of the only ones, maybe Billy Idol, that I wouldn't go after 2 minutes. All right, I've had enough of this. I'm changing it. You know, like,
Right.
like I just don't care about these bands. But
Fair enough.
that's just me, you know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. You don't have to love every band on the list, but
I just find it
as
odd
long
that
as
I
you
don't care about.
recognize that somebody's name's got to go in.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there should be at least one that I was like that I would be like, yeah, this is a good one. I don't give a shit about any of them, like, but
Yeah,
whatever.
for me, the main one where I'm like, oh God, I really hope they get in is Soundgarden because I love Soundgarden. And this is their third time being nominated.
Billy Idol's been around longer though.
Yes, he has, but I don't
Also, is
know if
Bad Company
Billy's
though,
been
right?
nominated before.
Has he?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. I don't
I'm
know.
not sure about that.
I mean, Bad Company and Joe Cocker have been around forever too.
Yes. Yeah, that's you're talking with Joe Cocker, it's early 70s.
Yeah.
Jimmy Page played on his fucking debut album.
Huh.
So now I sat around and thought about some bands that aren't in that I think should be in.
Okay.
I think obviously Iron Maiden,
How are they not in? They were around in the 70s also.
and they were nominated once.
And there's bands that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that are clearly influenced by Iron Maiden.
Yeah, Metallica's in.
Yeah. There's no way they didn't listen to Iron Maiden.
Of course they did. They've said it for years. They've covered Iron Maiden.
What about Merciful Fate? Or is that a little too extreme, you think?
I feel like I don't know. I mean, a very
They're rock and
influential
roll.
guy
They're
with
hard
King
rock.
Diamond, a very influential guy, but I don't know how many records they've really sold.
Yeah, but if you continue to do it that way, that's not going to be a thing for much longer. Like bands don't sell records anymore, really. I mean, not like they used to. It's a lot of people buying one song and
True.
or maybe a digital download or they're listening to them on Spotify over and over again.
I sell a lot of records, man.
But probably nowhere near as many as you would have sold in the 80s and 90s.
No, definitely not.
So
So yeah, you have a point. I mean, I wouldn't say no personally to Merciful Fate or King Diamond going in.
I'm just saying Merciful Fate's a little bit more hard rock than King Diamond is. And a
True.
lot of metal bands, I mean, Metallica covered one of their songs.
Yes, I did.
They so and a lot of metal bands were probably listening to Merciful Fate.
Of course, especially in the 80s.
Yeah,
Motorhead.
they're not in, huh?
Motorhead's not in.
It's a weird
And
one.
that's a massively influential band that blurred lines between heavy metal and punk rock.
Yeah,
Whitesnake's not in.
yeah, that's a weird one. That they've had a lot of lineup changes though. It's a hard one
They
to.
have.
You could put Coverdale in, but how do you put the band in? I don't know if anybody besides Coverdale is an original member.
And Coverdale is in with Deep Purple.
Yeah.
There was that whole when Deep Purple final, that was another one. Took the forever for Deep Purple to get in. They put in the Smoke on the Water lineup with Ian Gillan, and then they put in the Burn lineup with David Coverdale and Glenn Hughes. I
There-
think Whitesnake is deserving of it. They put out a lot of fucking albums. That 87 self titled album is massive.
I
Slide It In is massive.
I think they are. It's just more of a they never had a steady lineup.
True.
So it's like you're not picking a band, you're picking one dude who's already,
Right.
who's already in. You're picking his own band.
Well, to that end, I put down Megadeth on my list too.
Another one that's the same.
And that's another one where you're kind of just taking the front man.
But Dave Mustaine hasn't done anything else.
Well, he was in Metallica and he gets recognized for the songs on Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning,
But he's
but
not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for it, is he?
I don't think he is.
So,
I don't think he is. I think when Metallica went in, it was the Cliff lineup with Jason and Rob.
hmm. I mean, see, the problem is like he did have David Ellison for so long, but now he's got a new guitar player again. It's so hard to keep up with.
Yeah,
I mean, when it comes to heavy metal, yeah, they're one of the most influential heavy metal bands. But at the same time, it's the Dave Mustaine show, and we everybody knows it.
true.
But putting Dave Mustaine in is basically saying Megadeth.
Right.
So with Coverdale, it could be anything. He's been in a
Yeah.
couple of things, so yeah.
And to more on that end, Dio.
Dale's not in.
Dio's not in.
Is he
When
in?
Black Sabbath went in, it was just the Ozzy lineup,
Wow, that's fucked up.
right?
I mean, he deserves it more than anybody I've heard so far.
Agreed.
But,
Agreed.
but he's not in with like, what about Rainbow? Wasn't he in Rainbow?
Rainbow was not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Wow. Wasn't he
Isn't
in,
that fucking crazy?
wasn't in Deep Purple also?
He wasn't in Deep Purple. He went from Elf to Rainbow to Sabbath to Dio.
Okay.
But he's,
Wow.
like you said, probably the most deserving.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most powerful heavy metal voices.
Absolutely. Voice of a fucking generation.
I mean, there's the bands that he was in are still touring under the Dio name with a
Yes,
different
they
state.
are.
Like, I've opened for some of them.
Yep.
Like Vivian Campbell still does it with that lineup, and then Cody Gold and that lineup. I think they have Rip Owens for that one singing.
Yeah, yeah, that's the Disciples
Yeah, Dio
lineup.
Disciples. It's just surprisingly like you don't think of Rip Owens being like singing Dio songs, but he did a good job.
I saw them at the Chance when they first came out as Dio's Disciples, and I was fucking happy after that show, man.
Yeah, they're
I
great.
was fucking so elated after hearing that.
And Vivian Campbell won
Last in Line.
That's the Line. They were great too.
Yeah, I have their debut album. It's fucking
I
fantastic.
think they're doing original stuff too now. They did an original.
Yeah, they've got original. They've got, I think, 3 albums out.
Yeah, they did like one or two originals, I think, when I played with them.
Yeah,
But they were great.
absolutely. Andrew Freeman's a great singer.
Yeah,
Motley Crue and Poison.
yeah. We talked about that. Yeah.
Alice in Chains.
I mean, they deserve to get in, but I don't know when. I
I
mean,
would
most
say
of
definitely before Oasis, Fish, and the White Stripes.
Oasis, what did they have? Like, they were around for what, 2 or 3 good years, and then fought for 30 years.
They had
Fuck
two
them.
in the United States. They had two big albums, and then over here it was done after that.
They hated each other for the past 30 years.
Oh yeah.
Fuck those guys.
But the thing is now they've reunited and they're selling fucking squillions of tickets all around the world.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I'll give them
Exactly.
to assholes.
Boston's not in.
Huh. That's a
Sticks aren't in.
What about Kansas?
Kansas is in.
Okay.
Meatloaf is not in.
That's a weird one. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Thin Lizzy isn't in the Hall of Fame.
Wasn't Vivian Campbell in that too?
No.
Oh, it's John Sykes, right?
John Sykes was in Thin Lizzy. That's fucking crazy. And we all know why they wouldn't put him in, but I think deserving to get in is Ted Nugent.
Yeah.
But
I
we all know why they're not going to let him in.
I think when it comes to the music stuff, you kind of gotta suck it up and be a big boy. You know, like, you know. I mean, he says some crazy shit. So what?
He does,
You know,
but he also wrote Cat Scratch Fever
exactly.
and he wrote Stranglehold.
Mango Tango.
Wango, I love that fucking song. And he was in the goddamn Yankees.
Yeah, they were fun.
Damn Yankees were awesome.
Wasn't the singer from that from Styx?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, they technically had two singers. The one guy was from Night Ranger, the other guy was from Styx.
they were good. I like that album. There was
They're
one album,
fucking
right?
great. They had two. They had the self-titled, and then they had one called "Don't Tread on Me."
Oh, okay.
Both very good.
Yeah. Huh. Oh, I can't believe Dio's not in.
Yeah, right. And if anybody deserves to get in, I mean, yeah, put him in on the Musical Excellence Award. You know what I mean?
Put,
And then recognize Elf and Rainbow and Sabbath and Dio.
or at least put Rainbow in with Dio. I mean, Richie Blackmore is one of like the first like neoclassical shredders of guitar.
That's right. And he's in with Deep Purple.
Yeah, I don't get it. That is weird. Well,
Fucking crazy. What do you guys think? I
yeah,
know mostly the consensus is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just sucks a bag of dicks anyway. And I get that.
I agree.
I get that. I totally get that. But as a fan, and I've heard Tom Morello say this a bunch of times, as a fan, I want to see my favorite bands get accolades because I just think it's fucking cool.
Well, somebody dropped the fucking ball if Dio is not even on the ballot.
It's very true.
So, you know,
That's very true. Like I said, when it comes to the hard rock stuff, you've got one guy over there who's got who's got influence more than like an Eddie Trunk does. Eddie Trunk, he's on the board, but they just send him a fucking ballot to fill out. They don't actually sit and listen to him and consult with him with anything. They actually sit with Tom Morello and consult with him about shit. So he's the only dude who's got like big pull over there that pulls for the fucking hard rock and metal bands.
I'm willing to bet he's one of the only dudes over there that's been in a band too.
Probably, probably. Because you got to think, from what I've heard, most of that committee is people who write for Rolling Stone magazine,
No,
and that's the big fucking rub there. You know?
they're gonna run out of shit to like. There's how many hard rock bands are you gonna go without getting into metal? You're running out of.
Yeah.
You're putting you have fish in there.
Right.
Self-indulgent nonsense. Who gives a shit? You go there
Yeah.
and get. You know what? The people go there and get high, and then it's
Pretty
fun
much.
to watch.
You're gonna you're gonna get some hateful comments. I feel like
I
about
don't give
that.
a shit. Suck my ass.
Ah,
You tell me you go to Fish concerts and stay sober and watch that shit for 6 hours. Bullshit.
they played one song. I've been here an hour.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Fish at all. But that's a big band. That's a big movement. I mean, I wouldn't mind them get. I would say put them in over fucking Mariah Carey
Yes.
or Outcast,
Yes.
but they don't deserve to go in before Billy Idol or Soundgarden or Bad Company.
I don't know anybody that said I've been influenced by Fish. You know, like,
I don't either. I
so,
don't, but I do sell a decent amount of their records. I have fucking hippies that come in the store that love that shit.
yeah, and they probably sit around and get high and listen to it.
Pretty much.
And that's fine.
Right.
But go fuck yourself. I don't care. You know,
I
like,
sit around and get high to listen to Soundgarden, so I can't,
yeah.
talk too much. But
But at least their concerts aren't well, at least they weren't just a bunch of nonsense for 6 hours playing. Oh, we're gonna play this song that's 10 minutes on our album, and it's gonna be a half hour now. Oh, fuck you! Listen to this shit.
shut up.
Just play it the
Just
way I
play the
know
fucking record and go home, you dirty hippie.
it.
uh, that's funny.
Anyway, why don't you tell us down below us who you think should get in? Right there.
Yeah, flow us, fish fans.
Nobody listens. Nobody that watches this likes Fish.
Trey Anastasio stinks.
They all stink. I don't even know their names. Fuck them. Fuck their moms. I don't care.
Fuck them and fuck their moms.
If there's anybody else that you guys know of that should be in there, also, put it in there.
Yeah, who else has been snubbed that we're forgetting? Because I'm
Oh,
sure there's more. There's got to be some fucking great ones I've overlooked.
I'm sure there's more. Yeah. And it took them forever to just put Ozzy in.
That's true.
And he is heavy metal.
Yes,
Like,
he is.
I mean, for fuck's sake. Black Sabbath, I, I don't care what you tell me, that is the first heavy metal band.
That's
Not Led
right.
Zeppelin. Zeppelin was hard rock.
Agreed.
Led to heavy metal, helped lead to heavy metal, but they were
Yeah,
not
they
heavy
opened the
metal.
door.
Black Sabbath was heavy metal.
Absolutely. And that debut album just turned 55 today.
Yeah, there you go.
Happy birthday to heavy metal.
There you go. Mario,
And I'm James.
the metalheads.
Later, you jerks.